Welcome to the subject Introduction to Managed Crops and Pastures. This subject is about growing feed for grazing animals. You'll see links in this subject between the soil, the growing plant and the type of animal you feed. And of course the climate will affect each of these. We'll supply you with some useful references, but there are two other really helpful sources of information. Your district agronomist and the DPI website if you're in New South Wales. If you're in a region where it's difficult to get hold of an agronomist, many produce stores and seed suppliers can help. But do your homework first by getting hold of as much local information as you can. There are two ways of growing feed for your animals. The first is to graze them on pastures. The second is to grow a seasonal crop in order to fill feed gaps or to produce a certain quality of animal to meet a particular market. In the case of grazing pastures, you have some choices to make. On the one hand, you can invest in high-producing introduced species that are fairly expensive to establish but will give good growth rates in your animals. This is known as high input, high output production. On the other end of the spectrum is grazing on native pastures alone, which typically gives lower levels of animal production, low input, low output. In between these extremes lie many combinations and various levels of fertiliser use. Whichever system you use, your aim should be to keep the pasture productive for as long as possible, so grazing management becomes important. The choices you make will be unique to your farm, your soils, your climate, your animals, and your chosen level of production. Use the references where they are useful, get sound advice, and enjoy the journey.